Hello, we are back once again, and Amy.
Hello.
To do another Raw review. Right, let's get into it, shall we? First bit of the show was Jerry Lawler and CM Punk were in the ring, and they were talking about, basically Jerry Lawler wanted an apology. So, what did you think when CM Punk came down to the ring? What did you think of him? Did you think he was like, because the last time you saw CM Punk was Raw 999, which was about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and he was a good guy then.
Yeah.
So what do you think of CM Punk between now and then?
I remember thinking that I didn't like him as much as I did before, just from his behaviour and things, which I guess is what they were going for. But I didn't follow that they were maybe changing him into being a bit mean. So
A bad guy. A heel.
Yeah. So I picked up on that quite easily without knowing already.
The thing I find with this is that it's not just that they've turned him into a bad guy, it's they've just turned him boring. I mean, the stuff he was saying wasn't really that entertaining to me. I was just a bit like, really? No, that's not entertaining. Because you got CM Punk. This guy is like one of the best wrestling talkers there is in the world. They could have him say anything. They could do whatever they want with him. They could give him a good storyline and say, listen, run with this ball and make it entertaining. But they've gone, no, instead of that, we're going to put you with a retired wrestler who's an announcer now.
Yeah, it was a bit.
And now we're going to put you with him. Rather than putting you with somebody good or someone who's young, who you could make look better, we're going to put you with someone who's already retired, who there's no end game for it. There's nothing that can be achieved from it. Anyway, that was pretty boring, I thought. Then we had Jack Swagger versus a guy called Ryback. Ryback versus Jack Swagger. Now, what do you think of Ryback and Swagger? You probably don't remember Jack Swagger, do you?
I thought that Ryback looked a bit like a rat.
Key insight there.
That's all I can say.
Yeah, Ryback just dominated. She wasn't really paying attention at the start of the show. Ryback just dominated Jack Swagger, and as per usual, got the win. The one thing I did think is that they made Jack Swagger look strong in parts, but actually no, let me rephrase that. They made Ryback look weak in parts whilst having him dominate. So it was a bit like they didn't make Swagger look good. They just made Ryback look weak while he dominated. So it was a bit bizarre for me. Then we had a women's match, Layla versus Natalya. Do you remember that? And then Vicky Guerrero stormed out. Excuse me, halfway through.
I remember it. I didn't think it was very exciting though.
I thought this was an okay women's match, and it was surprising because I didn't watch Raw last week, and since they turned it to Raw 1000 and they changed it to 3 hours, they'd not had a single women's match on.
Oh.
So they sort of cancelled women's wrestling basically, but they've started doing it again. Now this match was okay, but again they ruined it by having Vicky Guerrero come out halfway through, just saying, "Excuse me, blah blah blah. You two need to hurry up your match because I need to talk." And it's a bit like, they basically told us, listen, we're going to put a women's match on, but it's not important. What's more important is this woman afterwards who needs to talk. So then, we thought, alright, I'll hear what she's got to say. And then AJ comes out, and basically Vicky Guerrero says to her, listen, I should be put in charge. AJ attacks her. They might be going into a feud between AJ and Vicky Guerrero. Again, Vicky Guerrero, not a wrestler. A woman who is only in the wrestling business because her husband was a wrestler. Again, a bit. Then we had Daniel Bryan in anger management, and a little child came in with the goat on it, goat thing. What do you think of the anger management scene?
I thought it was alright. I thought it was a bit of a break from all the wrestling, so I quite enjoyed it as a non-wrestling fan.
See, now this is quite a lot because I enjoyed this. This is like, these anger management bits are my highlight of my show now. For a wrestling fan on a wrestling show, my highlight should not be a skit. Because this is all it was. This was just a skit, just to make people laugh at the wrestler and not take him seriously.
I don't know, it was more interesting than the rest.
No, I do agree, it was more interesting and it was kind of funny. But on a wrestling show, they should put something else on there, something wrestling-wise, that's better than this. So when we come out of the show, we're not thinking about, oh, that anger management skit was good.
I didn't understand why he was in anger management either.
AJ sent him to anger management. They didn't really explain it that well, but yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really understand. Or why Kane was there.
I don't think it explained why Kane was there.
No, I didn't understand
They basically put in there because him and Daniel Bryan have been having a bit of a feud, and basically putting Kane in that situation makes Daniel Bryan more angry, which makes it even funnier when he gets angry in the thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, then we had the second hour starting. Cena versus The Miz. Now, I think you slept through this.
Yeah, I was asleep.
Yeah, that shows how entertaining this is, because we watched it in the middle of the day.
We both fell asleep.
Yeah, well, she fell asleep first, and just fell asleep middle of the day just watching this, because it's boring. 3 hours of wrestling is boring. I can't even sit through it, never mind someone who's not a fan. So I don't know how WWE expect to make new fans when they're going to have to sit through 3 hours of rubbishness, in complete honesty. They were Daniel Bryan skit 2. Well, Cena beat The Miz, first of all, and this is the opening of the second hour. Now, this is something that a lot of people don't really talk about. And it's the fact that WWE wants to open up each hour with something big. The first hour was, of course, CM Punk's promo, so that when people are flicking through the channels to see what's on, say at 9 o'clock, they see, oh, Punk's on. Then at 10 o'clock, oh, flicking through, oh, we're going to see a John Cena match. Okay, you stick around rather than if it's just a random Brodus Clay or Zack Ryder match. So yeah, then we had that. Then we had Daniel Bryan, and then Kane joined Anger Management. That's when that happened. Again, okay, trudging along. Again, highlights of the show. Then we had Santino Marella beating Heath Slater. Santino was the one with the Cobra puppet.
Oh yeah, I didn't like the Cobra puppet.
Yeah, it's basically made for children, really.
Yeah, I thought it was very. But then they do have children as an audience. So
exactly, but
it's cater for everyone.
They do cater for everyone, but this sort of alienates a lot of the what's it called?
More mature watchers.
The more mature audience. It alienates us that we're like, oh, do I really want to watch this? And to me personally, if I was watching this on TV and not watching it like we watched it, just all in one. If I was watching it like that, just turn over, put a DVD on or something. I can't bother watching this. Then we had Brodus Clay and Sin Cara beating Damien Sandow and Cody Rhodes again. You didn't really pay much attention to this one, did you?
I can't remember it. No.
Yeah. It was okay. Oh, the Sin Cara and Brodus Clay danced at the end, remember, with all the kids in the ring.
I do remember them all dancing.
Yeah. Then we had the final Daniel Bryan skit, and then this is where they started talking to Kane, and I thought this was funny, where Kane said, for some reason that's never been explained, I'd just like to torture Pete Rose, and I thought it was a great shout out to the past, the way that Pete Rose used to always be in WrestleMania from it was like 14 to 16, and Kane would always attack him. I thought it was a nice funny shout out. And Kane used to talk through a lot of his storylines, and it was a bit patchy. They missed out a few things, and they explained a few things inaccurately, but still it was good. Next, it was Daniel Bryan. He had a match versus R-Truth. R-Truth was the guy who had his imaginary friend, Little Jimmy.
Yeah.
This match was okay, but
I didn't really. I was watching it, but I can't remember a thing that happened.
Do you remember it ended, and you were like, "How's he won?" And
I didn't understand.
And I had to explain to her that Daniel Bryan had gone out the ring to argue with fans and had been counted out. And that's the way they decided to end this match, and I thought it was a bit of a cop-out, in all honesty. Then we had a really sad moment. We had Triple H retire from professional wrestling. So obviously, Triple H will never wrestle again. Triple H came out and he told us things like, I don't want to be broken down. I don't want the WWE and the professional wrestling to pass me by. I don't want to keep coming back here and not be able to beat people. I don't want to be the broken down guy who just wrestles for a paycheck. I don't want to be the broken down guy who can't hold my own children. So of course, Triple H is going to retire. We're never going to see him wrestle again. Bullshit, I thought. Absolute bullshit. I hated this scene, and I'll call it a scene because that's what it was. It wasn't pro wrestling. It was a scene from a TV programme where they got the guy to come out and say, oh, I'm going to retire. Oh, this is so sad. Oh, I've worked for this all my life. Really? You're not going to come back? Are you sure? I'm pretty sure he's going to come back. This is insulting to our intelligence. It's like we're watching, I don't know, Friends, and then Rachel dies, and then 3 weeks later, Ross brings Rachel back to life. That's what this is going to be like, because what's happened is Brock Lesnar has retired Triple H, and what they're going to do is they're probably going to have Brock Lesnar bring him out of retirement, or someone will bring him out of retirement, like, oh, Triple H, you can't hack it anymore, blah, 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 and he'll come back. Now, don't get me wrong, I want him to come back, I enjoy his matches, I'm not a big fan of him, but he is a good wrestler, but I could do without sitting there for 20 minutes while he does this fake, oh, I'm going to retire, this is so sad, I can't believe it, oh, what am I going to do now? Fucking stupid. I was saying this to her at the time, I was like, I'm just watching it for the sake of it now, just because it's on. Like, I didn't want to watch it. Then we had Sheamus and Randy Orton beating Alberto Del Rio and Dolph Ziggler.
I remember it.
That was an okay little match. Again, nothing spectacular to really mention. Then we had David Otunga versus Zack Ryder. Otunga's the one who's married to Jennifer Hudson. Yeah, that match. Again, short match. Kane sat at ringside. Why is he sat at ringside? It's not explained. After the match, she said to me, "Oh, why is Kane at ringside?" I said, "Oh, because Kane's had a rivalry with Zack Ryder for ages now." So then, of course, after the match, Zack Ryder wins. Kane gets in there, looks at Zack Ryder. I think he might have even choked him, lets him go, chokeslammed David Otunga for some reason instead.
Yeah, I think it's because he let him win. No, not on purpose, but maybe he was angry that he didn't beat him. I don't know. That's what I got from it.
I don't think that's even what it was. I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to turn Kane into a good guy because they're basically putting him against the bad guy Daniel Bryan. So I
thought Daniel Bryan was a good guy.
No, he's a bad guy.
Oh, I liked him.
See, this is the mixed messages that the WWE characters are sending. Is that they don't really make much sense. They're very... It's discontinuity, basically. It's not really linear storytelling. Main event, cage match, Jerry Lawler versus CM Punk. CM Punk beats Jerry Lawler. Now, this is the main event of a 3-hour Raw. We wrestling fans are supposed to be ecstatic. Yes, we're going to see 3 hours of wrestling every single week. Okay, that sounds good, in theory. Now, we get down to the main event. We're going to see the World WWE Heavyweight Champion, CM Punk, who is a guy who's got a claim to be the best wrestler in the world. I like to watch CM Punk wrestle. Who's he against? He's against the guy who Triple H described earlier. He's against the guy who's wrestling for a paycheck. He's against the guy who's broken down and cannot do it like he used to do it in his prime. He's against Jerry Lawler. Now, if Triple H, half an hour ago, has just said, "I don't want to be the guy who does that. I don't want to be the guy who wrestles for a paycheck, blah, 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 does this, does that," and then in their main event, they put in a guy who does all those things, why should I care? Why should I want to watch that? Watching it was just... It was annoying. It was just utterly annoying. Again, go back to Friends, right? Ross and Rachel are going out with each other. And then, the end of the show, they're going to get married. And then, oh, Ross gets married to Barney the Dinosaur. Why? Because Barney the Dinosaur was a big hit in the 90s. He's a big hit ages ago. So why are we bringing him back in this TV show? No. Let's not do that. Jerry Lawler isn't a wrestler here. Jerry Lawler's a commentator, not a wrestler. So why is he in our main event? What did you think of Jerry Lawler in the wrestling ring?
I thought he was... I didn't realise he was the commentator. I didn't recognise him. I just thought he was an old man that they'd brought back. And I was really confused because I thought that obviously they're making CM Punk mean. So I thought that they were making him beat up an old man. But I didn't really get that he was a commentator. No, I didn't really understand.
Now, that is part of the storytelling, that they're having him beat up an old man, of course. But if you want to turn him into a bad guy, sure, the WWE writers are smart enough to think of something better than, what can we do to make him seem like a bad guy? Oh, we'll have him beat up an old man. Okay, how long was that take to think of? 5 seconds? I mean, have him beat up a kid? Well, at the same time, why doesn't he just slap some old woman? It's just stupid.
The goat boy.
Yeah, why didn't he just slap the guy who was dressed as a goat because he was mocking Daniel Bryan? Stupid stuff. I mean, come on, a little bit of thought, please, WWE. I'm usually the guy who's a WWE apologist. I'm usually on these videos saying, listen, this show wasn't great, but it was okay. And people comment saying, oh, this is awful. And I said, no, it's not that bad. But at the moment, I'm just really falling out of love with pro wrestling, especially WWE, because it's not really giving me that much to get excited about. We had Brock Lesnar. Now what? Brock Lesnar's fucked off. Triple H is retired, or woe is me. Undertaker's never around. All the top wrestlers aren't wrestling, and the top wrestlers who are wrestling, Daniel Bryan's getting counted out by arguing with fans, and CM Punk's wrestling an old retired man. That's my thought on the show. What about you? Are you excited to watch another 3-hour pro wrestling? I mean, how much complaining and moaning and how much persuasion do I have to do to get you to watch another 3-hour Raw? Because that was pretty boring. I mean, you were saying it all the way through. this isn't really exciting. I've not really got anything to say, haven't you?
No, I didn't, because some of them I've watched and I've thought, oh, this is okay. There's parts of it that I'm interested in, but with this one, I didn't find anything that I would watch the next one for. Like, it didn't make me want to watch any more of it.
Exactly. I mean, it's just shit. I mean, what did you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm sure there'll be some creative, rude, and imaginative comments in there as well. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe up there. Send it to your friends. Send it to your mum. All that good stuff. We'll see you later.